The accumulation phase of retirement planning is critical, but the spending phase is equally important. There are a few rules of thumb you can use while planning for your retirement income and demands. In today's video, we will be looking at the 4% rule for retirement. Number 1. What is the 4% rule? The 4% rule is a formula for calculating how much a retiree should remove from their retirement savings each year. If you have $100,000 when you retire, for example, the 4% rule states that you can withdraw around 4% of this amount. In the first year of retirement, that would be $4,000 in savings. The percentage you remove would remain constant, but the amount you withdraw would fluctuate with inflation each year. As a result, you should expect your portfolio to last at least 30 years. This guideline aims to offer a consistent income stream for retirees, while also keeping an account balance that allows income to flow throughout retirement. The 4% rule also assumes that your portfolio will be 60% stocks and 40% bonds when you retire. It sounds fantastic in principle, and it might work in practice for certain people. However, there is no one-size-fits-all solution for everyone. Experts disagree about whether the 4% withdrawal rate is safe, given that the withdrawals will mostly consist of interest and dividends. Number 2. How does it actually work? According to the guideline, if you retire with $1 million in your portfolio, you will withdraw $40,000 in the first year. You'd withdraw $40,000 plus inflation in the future. For example, if inflation is 3% in year 2, you would withdraw $41,200. The extra $1,200 adjusts for inflation, ensuring that your level of life is maintained. You can earn an average return over time by keeping your portfolio invested during retirement. Your investments should increase in theory, keeping you from running out of money too rapidly. The 4% guideline is an excellent place to start if you're not sure how much you can afford to remove funds each year without running out of money. Number 3. What's the story behind the 4% rule? The 4% rule was developed using historical data on stock and bond returns from 1926 to 1976, spanning a 50-year period. Before the early 1990s, experts typically considered a 5% annual withdrawal to be a safe amount for retirees. Bill Bengen is credited with inventing the 4% rule in 1994, according to some reports. The 4% rule gained popularity after a report known as the Trinity Study, since it was written by 3 Trinity University finance professors. The 4% rule guideline has been referred to as a safe withdrawal rate for retirement. However, this is not what the Trinity Study stated. In 2011, the authors of the Trinity Study updated their findings and published it on the Journal of Financial Planning. Portfolio Success Rates: Where to Draw the Line was the title of the new article. In 1994, financial expert William Bengen, skeptical of the amount, performed comprehensive research of historical returns, focusing primarily on the catastrophic market downturns of the 1930s and early 1970s. Bengen determined that even in unfavorable markets, there has never been a circumstance in which a 4% annual withdrawal would deplete a retirement fund in fewer than 33 years. Number 4. When should the 4% rule be applied? The 4% rule expects you to maintain spending at the same level in retirement. You should be aware, however, that the 4% rule is an older one. Following it no longer ensures that you will not run out of money. It may be based on the performance of your investments, but it isn't a sure thing because it was created when bond interest rates were much greater than what they are now. Number 5. The 4% rule's benefits and drawbacks. While adhering to the 4% rule increases the likelihood of your retirement savings lasting the rest of your life, it does not guarantee it. The rule is based on market performance in the past, so it does not guarantee future results. If market conditions change, what was deemed a safe investment strategy in the past may no longer be a safe investment strategy in the future. The 4% rule may or may not work for a retiree in a variety of situations. A severe or long-term market downturn can eat away at the value of a high-risk investment vehicle considerably faster than a traditional retirement portfolio. The 4% rule might help you figure out how much income you'll be able to get from your retirement assets. However, this is not the case in every circumstance. You might get into difficulty if you stick to the 4% rule guideline too closely. Furthermore, the 4% rule is only effective if a retiree follows it year after year. Violation of the rule one year to overspend on a significant purchase can have serious long-term ramifications since it reduces the principal, which has a direct influence on the compound interest that the retiree relies on for long-term sustainability. The 4% rule, on the other hand, has obvious advantages. It's easy to follow and ensures a consistent stream of revenue. The 4% rule will also keep you from running out of money in retirement if it is successful. Number 6. When may it not be the best option? If you want to be absolutely certain you won't run out of money, sticking to the 4% rule guideline is probably not the greatest option. It's an older norm and it also ignores changing market conditions. It's probably not a good idea to increase your withdrawal amounts during a recession. In fact, you might want to cut them slightly. However, if the markets are performing well, you may be able to easily withdraw more than 4%. You should also avoid adopting the 4% rule if your asset allocation isn't 60% equities and 40% bonds. Your portfolio will perform differently if you invest differently. Investing more in bonds, for example, may result in slower investment growth because bonds normally do not generate the same returns as stocks. The difficulty is exacerbated by the fact that bond interest rates were significantly higher when the 4% rule was adopted than they are now. The 4% rule isn't the greatest method if you expect your spending patterns to change after retirement. In the early stages of retirement, most retirees are more active. Then in the middle of retirement, spending drops before rising again due to high healthcare costs later in life. The 4% rule criterion isn't flexible enough to accommodate these changes in lifestyle. It restricts you to a certain amount of money, which may be insufficient in your early years and excessive in your later years. Number 7. Should you follow the 4% rule? The 4% rule is an excellent guideline to use when planning your retirement funds. However, once you retire, it may not be the ideal system to follow. Once you quit working, your demands will also change from year to year. Due to travel or unexpected medical expenditures, you may need to withdraw more money some years. You might need less in other years. The 4% rule also becomes obsolete after you reach the age of 72, when you must begin drawing required minimum distributions or RMDs from your IRA accounts. RMDs are calculated using a formula that requires you to withdraw more than 4% of your remaining investment income as you get older. As you get older, you'll need to take out a larger amount per year. You don't have to spend the money, but you do have to take it out of the IRA, which means you'll have to pay taxes on it. Number 8. Is it still useful as a rule of thumb? An article called "The 4% Rule is Not Safe in a Low-Yield World" was published in 2013. There were a number of counter-arguments, including in the United States, the 4% rule has been successful, but this may be the exception rather than the rule. Your retirement strategy should include more than just the amount of money you can withdraw from your investment portfolio each year. When interest rates are low, a withdrawal rate of 4% may not be the best option. According to this study, existing retirees may require a different approach. The 4% rule was based on historical data that may no longer be relevant. The 4% rule guideline can be a good place to start when figuring out how much money you'll need in retirement, but it has certain limitations. You'll have changing requirements and ambitions in your older years, so you'll need a flexible withdrawal strategy. And with that, we are going to end our video right here. We hope you learned a lot. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you in the comments section.